next thing we want to do is actually get the browser to actually update this position. So at 0, this is the left-hand edge of the page. We want it to look like that. And on the far side of the page, we want it to look like 1. How do we do that? Which kind of goes into the right position like that. And what we can do within P5, there's a lot of things that we can actually use as part of this. So there's a few things like events and kind of movement that we can actually add to add some animation to this. So in here, we can start scrolling down the page and seeing what there is. And there's certain things like window width that we can potentially use. So we want to basically go between here and here. And we don't know how wide this page is going to be because our users might be on different browsers. So we need something to do with the window width. So we'll come back to that in a second. Now, if I keep scrolling down the page, there's other things that I might be able to use. So if I keep going down, notice that there's an event section with a lot of things to do with mice and mouse. So in here, we've got things like mouse X. We've got this kind of P mouse X. If I click this, we can see what it is. This is going to be what? Well, it's going to be the previous mouse position. So we can actually work out a kind of little thing like that. Now, we don't want to do things based on the canvas. We want to do this, if we kind of go back to events, based on what? Well, the window mouse X. If I click this, we can see this moving across the page. So what we want to do is kind of work out the kind of percentage across the page this is going to be. So over here, we want it at 0, and over here we want 1. So we need to work out this position across the page and then divide all of that by how big this page is, almost like a percentage of this page. So to do this, I'm going to go back to my code and use these two things. I'm going to use win mouse X divided by the window width. So we're just going to replace this number with win mouse X. Watch out for the capitals on this. It's win and then a capital M and then mouse. I don't know why this isn't window mouse X because the other thing itself, if we go back to reference, is called window width. So they should match. So window width in here, we want to use this. So we're going to divide this. We're going to use a slash, window, and then width. So watch out for the capital W in width as well. So what we'll get now is something that looks like this. If I'm over this edge of the screen, notice how this kind of basically fades into the right position. So what we have here is we have some user discretion about how they can actually do things on this page. We could do it up and down the page if we wanted to by just changing some of this information. Instead of it being window mouse X, which is across the page, we can change it to Y. And of course, we want to divide this by the window height if we want to go up and down the page. So here you can see it's going up and down the page in this kind of direction. Now I do want to kind of make it go across the page just because it looks pretty cool. So I'm going to keep it as it is. So next what we'll talk about is how to add some more kind of smoothness and easing into this. At the moment, ours is very kind of linear. So the more I go, it feels very kind of like linear. There's more fun stuff that we can actually add to this. We'll talk about that in the next video.